We want to welcome everybody back to our Together We Can monthly action items. And if this is your first month, we want to highlight that this is where we really tackle the portion of our mission statement that says building a lifestyle of mindfulness and action against racism, where we take a little time throughout the month to go through these action items, learn more about our country, learn more about ourselves, see some opportunities for us to take steps. And from that work we do, that we change our daily walk, that when we go out the door and interface with others, especially those that don't look like ourselves, that we are curious as to their stories, curious as to their experiences, and appreciate that their perspectives may cause them to form different ideas than ours, and to understand that that's a blessing, to provide enrichment and teach us empathy, so that we're all better individuals, better parents, better neighbors, better citizens. This month we're focusing on Black History Month, or African American History Month. Since 1976 and President Ford, each president of the United States has recognized February as Black History Month. But the originations go back to the experiences of a historian named Carter G. Woodson, doctorate graduate from Harvard, who was an exhibitor of a Black history display at a celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation. And from that experience, he recognized there was just not enough recognition of the history of prominent African Americans that have brought so much to our country. And he formed the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History that same year. And as they developed their work, they sent out their press release announcing Negro History Week in February of 1926. And things then developed from there. Dr. Woodson chose February because of the birthdays of President Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, who he thought were important figures. And the celebration developed from that time until 1969, when Kent State University recognized Black History Month for the first time for a full month. So thanks to Dr. Woodson, we take a little bit of time each year to focus on those Americans who provided so much of our history, who provided so much of our development, so much of our awareness, and are so much a part of who we are as a nation that, quite frankly, in my education, I did not have material, at least in depth, of Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, and so many others. And we will be focusing on Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman and their contributions to American life that are so remarkable. Frederick Douglass, as the others, was born into slavery, and he escaped slavery, wrote a narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, which became a monstrous bestseller in America, and became one of the leaders of the abolitionist movement. Great orator, writer. The people of the North could not believe that he, and white people could not believe that he was such a great orator, having had been an enslaved person. But in presenting this powerful figure that he is, became a confidant of so many in the abolitionist movement, and became the leader. And from there had audiences with 3 different presidents, including President Lincoln. He was also, without his approval, named the first African-American nominee for Vice President of the United States, from nominee Victoria Woodhull of the Equal Rights Party ticket. Sojourner Truth was born Isabella Bell Baumfree. She also, as she called it, walked away from slavery. I don't think she gives herself the credit that really her escape called for. A towering figure at 6 foot tall. She also created a narrative of her life, though she could not read or write. And a lot of her story was told from her dictation to white men and women. And from that, her story and history brings up more questions than the others, as we don't know as much about her as we do the others. Her best-known speech was delivered in 1851 at the Ohio Women's Rights Convention. She, in addition to be one of our leading abolitionists, she was a staunch proponent of women's rights. Her speech was titled, "Ain't I a Woman?" There is historical controversy as to what actually was contained in her speech. There are different versions. She may never have uttered the phrase, "Ain't I a woman?" But it was most definitely a powerful speech that resonated throughout the country. And Harriet Tubman, goodness gracious, transposing her figure with the 6 foot tall Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman was 5 foot tall. She had a brutal experience with slavery before escaping multiple times from the ownership of her enslavement. And of course, saved hundreds of lives through the Underground Railroad. Also led men into battle to free over 700 people at Harper's Ferry. She is one of the most towering figures we have in our history in fighting for other people's freedom. And as such, she is soon to be replacing Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill, as announced by the U.S. Treasury not too long ago. So we're also this month in our In Their Shoes feature going to highlight Ambassador Ron Kirk. It's appropriate we recognize him, as he is himself a significant historical figure, the first African-American Secretary of State of the state of Texas, the first African-American mayor of the city of Dallas, the first African-American to serve as U.S. Trade Representative, as he did as a senior member of the Obama cabinet, confirmed by the Senate overwhelmingly. He, despite those credentials and being a part of such great history, he walks into a store and, like so many people of color in our country, suffers microaggressions, as he will explain to you. This month, we are breaking up our action items in a little different manner, so that we give you little pieces that you can take on your ride to work or as you're exercising, and you can break it up quite simply. And in our extras, as I call it, we've also provided a couple items for you to consider for your children. A cartoon biography of Frederick Douglass that you may wish to share with your children. And we've also got a wonderful opportunity to take action for our children. The Dallas Children's Theater and Faith Forward Dallas have launched a Youth Chats for Social Justice program that is a wonderful opportunity to have good discussion about racism and social injustice. And we provide you that link. So we hope that you all are remaining safe in these turbulent times, and we hope that you enjoy this month's action items.